As the year 2025 draws near, the world is on edge as the notorious Nostradamus's prophecies are once again under close examination. As we approach the start of a new century, many people are curious about what the future contains for the United States. The French seer's mysterious quatrains have captured the imagination of the nation for decades. Will there be anarchy and turmoil during the administration? Or will a period of peace and prosperity emerge? In this video, we'll go inside Nostradamus's world and investigate the unsettling prophecies that have been taken to mean that anarchy will rise and the US presidency will collapse. We will look at the most intriguing and terrifying prophecies that might change the course of history, from the disintegration of institutions to the emergence of new world powers. Before the world can finally reveal Nostradamus's 2024 prophecies, it is important to understand the unstable environment that will set the stage for the dramatic events that will take place. With a field of contenders fighting for the top slot in a politically divided environment, the 2024 presidential election is already anticipated to be a fierce and unexpected event. With intense discussions raging on topics like social fairness, economic injustice, and the role of government in the lives of its inhabitants, the nation is riven by long-standing conflicts. With this in mind, the prophecies of Nostradamus will be closely examined in an effort to decipher future riddles and predict the destiny of the US presidency. Will the establishment candidate win, or will there be a historic shock in the election? Will an experienced politician emerge victorious, or will a surprise contender take the top spot? One thing is clear as the world waits for the response: the prophecy will herald change, and its fulfillment will have significant and far-reaching effects. The prophecy ascribed to the famous seer Nostradamus provides a look into the turbulent environment that is to come as the world waits impatiently for the anticipated events to occur. The passage appears to foreshadow the catastrophic events that would soon befall the American president, but it is steeped in mystery and dates back to the 16th century. The prophecy opens with a description of a great leader who would ascend to prominence only to encounter deceit and cunning. Although the terminology is opaque, the imagery, a powerful individual plagued by treachery and dishonesty on all sides, is clear. The prophecy continues by describing a massive storm that would rage throughout the country, bringing chaos and devastation with it. There's a tangible feeling of gloom and frightening language. But what about the office of president? The prophecy speaks of a big mansion that will be completely upended and shook to its very foundation. The impression is clear: a strong organization that was before thought to be unflappable is in shambles. According to the prophecy, a great people would rebel against the ruling class and demand responsibility and reform. The sense of upheaval is evident, and the rhetoric is couched in terms of revolution. The tone of the prophecy grows more menacing as it describes the impending tremendous darkness that would overtake the nation. There is a tangible feeling of hopelessness and apocalyptic language. A new dawn is mentioned in the prophecy's conclusion, but the tone is ambiguous, allowing the reader to question what would this new period bring. The prophecy serves as a rallying cry, a forewarning to be ready for anything, and a constant reminder that things change quickly in this world. The world holds its collective breath as the curtain of uncertainty rises to reveal the unfolding of Nostradamus's most dire prophecy on January 1st, 2024, at midnight. The American president, which was once a pillar of democracy and optimism, is starting to fall apart like the walls of the ancient city of Babylon. The leaders of the free world are driven to greatness by the same desire that will ultimately bring them down, and what happens will be a monument to the strength of human folly. A slew of seemingly unrelated events marks the beginning of the unraveling. Each is a small strand in the complex web of turmoil that will soon engulf the nation. Like old buildings that once reached the sky, the government's once sturdy pillars, those establishments that have withstood the test of time, start to show indications of weakening. As the nation's basic roots are gradually undermined, the president, which was once a light of hope and leadership, loses its clarity and becomes obscured in a fog of uncertainty. The formerly strong ties of solidarity are broken, leaving the people, who were once unified in their desire of freedom and prosperity, to pick up the pieces. Once composed of strands of collaboration and trust, society's entire fabric has been ripped apart, leaving nothing but a jumbled mess of strife and hopelessness. America's once calm terrain has turned into a combat zone where the nation's continued existence is in jeopardy of collapse. One especially noteworthy component of Nostradamus's 2024 prophecy is the one about the great leader. The cryptic lyrics predict the emergence of a charismatic leader who will have great power and influence and be able to bind the nation together and instill a feeling of purpose and togetherness. This person is considered to have a special combination of charm, intelligence, and vision that allows them to inspire hope and optimism amid a divided nation caused by party politics. Nostradamus's prophecy presents a clear picture of this leader as the sun rising in the west, symbolizing the United States and providing warmth and light to a nation that has been enveloped in doubt and gloom. According to reports, this leader is a unifying force that may unite people around a common goal for a better future and heal the profound divisions that have afflicted American politics for many years. Some commentators speculate that this great leader may be a politician from the present day, someone whose vision and leadership abilities have already won them broad respect and recognition. Some suggest that this individual may be a brand new figure that hasn't made an appearance on the national scene yet. Regardless of the circumstances, the prophecy indicates that this leader will be pivotal in the future development of American history and that their ascent to power will mark a change in the direction of the nation. The world hangs its breath as the prophecy comes to pass, and civilization as a whole starts to fall apart. Democracy and order were once built on solid ground, but now they are perilously close to collapsing. The prophecy describes a worldwide anarchy that will overwhelm the earth as world leaders fight to keep everything under control. As governments fall apart and long-standing rivalries resurface, the Middle East, once a hub of conflict, will shrink to a whisper of its former self. Europe's once great economies will be little more than a distant memory as the continent is destroyed by the same forces that brought down the US presidency. The Americas won't be an exception as internal conflict and external threats rip the United States apart, a country that was once a symbol of freedom and optimism. It will become a patchwork of warring groups fighting for dominance over the once unified nation. The world's surviving superpowers will have to reassess their goals as the turmoil grows, and the concept of global government itself will be put to the test. The world of alliances, rivalries, and battles that will shape human history will replace the formerly harmonious interactions between states. The prophecy describes a world in disarray where humanity's continued existence is in jeopardy. It's an unpredictable world where the laws are always changing and the future is hidden behind an impenetrable cloud of doubt. One of the more ominous prophecies is that technology will be a major factor in the US presidency's demise. Our everyday lives now revolve on our dependency on technology in this age of digital domination. The once neutral instrument has evolved into a two-edged weapon with the ability to elevate and destroy. Nostradamus predicted a day when the very technology that was supposed to underpin the presidency would tear its fundamental fabric apart. The incessant flow of data, social media echo chambers, and the blending of reality and fiction would all combine to produce an ideal storm of mayhem. The digital sphere will be the weak point for the most powerful leaders in the world as they battle to hold on to their positions of authority. The siren melody of disinformation will win over the once loyal populace, and technological manipulation will cause the presidency's basic underpinnings to collapse. Democracy's once mighty skyscrapers will collapse, leaving a chaotic and depressing landscape in their aftermath. The prophecy is very clear. Technology will play a major role in the presidency's demise, acting as a sign of the end of the world that will fundamentally alter our way of life. A mysterious person from the past appears to be uttering unsettling warnings of a dreadful future as the world teeters on the verge of disaster. The legendary French prophet Nostradamus has left a trail of cryptic quatrains that predict the collapse of the American presidency and the subsequent anarchy that would overtake the nation. The United States, once a ray of hope and democracy, is about to enter an unparalleled period of unrest as we descend into the murky depths of his prophecies. This prophecy starts off by warning of the coming of a charismatic leader who will seduce the public with his charm and oratory prowess, only to lead them astray. The nation's weaknesses will be exploited by this mysterious person, who will plant the seeds of discontent and division that would eventually tear apart civilization. The prophecy alludes to the American people's betrayal because they put their faith in a leader who would use it against them. The same leaders who formerly held the reins of authority will become puppets under the whims of the dark, menacing powers, and a terrible storm will rage throughout the nation. The ravages of separation and strife will tear the people apart who once stood together in their pursuit of freedom and wealth. Once a great nation founded on democracy and fairness, it will become a mere shell of its former self as the governing class distorts and manipulates the fundamental notion of truth. To further the interests of the wealthy and powerful, the rule of law will be twisted and distorted. As the pillars of trade are destroyed by the unbridled greed of a few, the very foundations of the economy will collapse, leaving the many to fight for survival in a world gone insane. And yet, there will always be a ray of optimism among the turmoil and devastation. The people will rise up to regain their rightful position as the architects of their own fate, motivated by the flames of resistance and the insatiable longing for freedom. The prophecy describes a new age of harmony and collaboration in which the interests of the many, not the few, are served and people's voices are heard. Will this, however, be the start of a new age or the end of the American experiment? Time will tell. An uneasy feeling spreads over the world as the world verges on anarchy, akin to the sounds of an impending storm. The United States, the self-declared bulwark of democracy, is perilously teetering on the edge of a cliff as the once stable pillars of the world order begin to crumble. The murmurs of Nostradamus's prophecies, warning of the coming fall of the American president and the emergence of a new world order, are becoming more and more audible. In this period of unparalleled turmoil, the US will be at the front of a worldwide competition for dominance and clout. When the delicate threads of international diplomacy break and the foundation of global government is upended, the superpowers of the world will compete for supremacy. With the dissolution of long-standing assumptions, the US will have to negotiate the unfamiliar terrain of a post-dollar world order, in which developing economies and alternative currencies will progressively hold sway over the dollar's historically dominating position. The nation's leaders will have to face the hard facts of a fast-changing world where distinctions between friends and enemies are becoming more hazy. The United States' very survival depends on its capacity to change and adapt to the shifting tides of international politics, and it will have no choice but to do so in this dangerous environment. Will America be able to meet this challenge, or will it fall prey to the instability and disintegration that surround it? Time will tell. As we come to the end of our exploration of Nostradamus's enigmatic prophecies, it is evident that the French prophet's predictions have left us feeling uneasy about the future of the US president. Nostradamus's prophecies depict a world in upheaval, from the dissolution of the nation's highest office to the emergence of disorder and discontent. This guide has given us an intriguing look at the potential routes that may lie ahead, even if we cannot know with certainty what the future contains. One thing is evident as we stare into the crystal ball: the American president is in jeopardy, and the decisions taken in the upcoming years will have a significant impact on the nation's destiny.